Yeah,
Wait,
thank you so much, Demi.
Sigmund want to say something.
Yeah, Demi,
Yeah,
I think you pointed out something about all hand calls or anything else, right? I want to piggyback on that. Whenever you get on a call, every call is an opportunity to get better.
Mhm.
So when you see me be very intentional, or Demi's talking about going to all hands call, this is all hands call for you. You should be engaging. You should be asking questions. You don't have to interrupt, but you can be asking questions. That way, when we look at the list, we know who's actually asking questions, who's engaging, because that's
So,
how we're going to know, right? That you're that type of person we have to look out for. Because if you don't do those things, we can't see you. People will not see you. And so
mhm.
for every interaction, you have to take those steps that Demi's talking about, because every time you're up to doing something, it's another opportunity to expand your network, to learn, to be seen, and to actually get the assistance that you're going to need for your career, because people are going to say, oh, that person is really engaged. I want to go help them out. They're really talking to me. Because a lot of the times, and everyone on this call will tell you, and I think Demi also highlighted, people are going to invest in you. They just don't know why or who they should be investing in until you give them a choice. Demi, did I get that? Was that a good
Really,
piggyback?
really nice. That's a really nice way to put it. Couldn't agree more. I mean, organizations can, go to a lot of trouble, a lot of effort putting all these things together, but it's a two-way street. You also need to make the effort. You also need to want to better your situation. It can't just be somebody puts everything on a table and you don't show up. Do you have to take accountability?
So true.
yeah. Thank you, Demi. Thank you, Shegun. So every call is an opportunity to get better. And my next question is actually for you, Shegun, right? And is about inspiration and influence. How can emerging professionals develop influence and leadership potential early in their careers?
I mean, you live life, right? I mean, it's a thing. It's very simple. I think in times we always think about, I want a leadership style that looks like this, or I want to be a leader. The very first people you normally interact with are people in your family who raise you. Then from there you go to your community and your friends and your teachers. Then you go to your, if you're a spiritual, you go to a church. Inspiration comes from the fact of what you're exposed to and what you believe is possible. So there's a reason why a lot of people are all over the world on this call being inspired, is because we have access to people who might be able to provide that experience or that expertise that you want to get to. For me, inspiring is knowing that in my life, I'm an anomaly. I've been told by professionals that I wasn't supposed to actually live past a certain age or be successful or anything along those lines. So when I see other people who have opportunities to do the same thing, they might not understand that. But that's what inspires me. It inspires me to come on a call right now and be able to see, okay, I know 10, 15 people on this call have reached out to me. I know 10, 15 more people are going to reach out to me. That's going to make me want to go do better work, because that puts me on a platform to give back to other people. It's inspiration is internalized. If you want to help yourself, to help your family, to help your community, great. If you want to help your village, if you're in a village, great. If you want to help the kids in your community that don't have access because they don't have family members who work at a company, great. That is all about defining, again, going back to defining what you want and who you are. Because when I go into an interaction and people go, oh, you're inspiring, I go, cool, thanks. I'm not thinking about it that way. I'm thinking about, how do I live my life to the best approach of what I care about, which in turn, you'll be surprised by how many people don't do that. How many people feel trapped? How many people don't feel inspired because of the situations, or they don't feel as if they're being seen? And again, you keep hearing it over and over again. You have to create avenues to celebrate each other. You have to create avenues to celebrate yourself. You have to keep your inspiration bank up, because at the end of the day, and I'll say this, no one's going to come save you.
Mm,
When you realize that you have all the powers that you've been blessed with, it really changes how you perceive what your value is when you engage with anyone, because they don't know what you know and they will never have your experience. Your experience will change how you engage with a client. It will engage how you change with a leader. You will see challenges that other people will not see. You have to be inspired in being yourself, because ultimately speaking, that's the thing that defines your career. It also defines a diverse skill set. Because I'll make this really brief, because this is something I always say. It doesn't matter about your technical skills. That's not going to just get you a job. It helps. It doesn't help if you're the person who can talk to everyone. Because if you can't answer the question about that, you can't. You have to be inspired to be able to say no with integrity. And the only way you can say no, because what no one's going to tell you in this business and in your career, you have to say no a lot. And you have to feel comfortable saying it, because you're not always going to get the right information to make the right decision, but you better believe and be inspired that you have something to say. And even if they don't listen, document it, make sure it's documented. And if it blows up and it becomes horrible, guess what? They'll probably come back 6 months later to that document you wrote that was ignored in that meeting, that you raised your hand in to ask a question on that all hands call or whatever else you were doing. But then at that point, they'll see that you had a thought process, that you were inspired to come up with a solution to a problem they did not even see. That is the game. That's the inspiration. You can do anything you want if you try to do it. That's it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shegun. Believing in yourself and saying no with integrity. So I still have one more question for you, and it's something that you've touched upon a little bit while you're answering the last question about building diverse skill sets. Right? You mentioned that, okay, beyond technical skills, you need to build skills in other areas, right? So from your experience, how has developing a diverse skill set, right, beyond the core technical skills that you have, how has that opened doors and create opportunities in your career? And what do you think matters in the long term?
In my career, the diverse skill set's everything. Because what we're asking people to do now is do AI. Cool, great, thank you. But unless you have data intelligence, unless you know business use cases, unless you know how people interact and how they QA it and test it to make sure it's actually valid, you're just doing stuff to do it. And unless you have a diverse skill set to see the problem, not just the problem in front of you, but problems 2 steps, what are the ramifications? You're just going to be a task person, not a leader, not a career. You will do a task. And maybe doing a task is all you want. But again, you'll have to understand that for yourself. But for me, a diverse skill set is every opportunity in life you have to learn. You will never be able to just do one thing in life, to be honest. Like, listen to Jennifer. Jennifer had to do cleaning hospitals. Some of my grandmothers did. Then you move forward to the next stage, which is I was an Uber driver, but I was still investing in myself to learn. Now, let me tell you about what I did and why being an Uber driver is probably really beneficial. You learned how to communicate with people. You learned how to communicate with strangers. I ran a cafe. Dealing with people at 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning before coffee will teach you how to interact with someone. It will teach you how to communicate. Those things matter when I have to go tell an executive that what they're thinking is wrong, right? They have an entire team telling them it's the right answer. Well, I have to be able to understand, okay, what is their vested interest? Where's their background? What's their philosophy? What is the culture of their company? I have to be able to analyze all those things to get to a point where we can understand the technical challenge, because you have to talk to multiple stakeholders. Demi gave a wonderful example. Renee is a wonderful walking example. They're talking about how you're interacting with all these different people at all times. You can't just be technical. Some of the most technical people don't have the ability to do certain jobs because they don't feel comfortable talking to people, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you have a more diverse skill set, it gives you way more opportunities to do lots of roles, because what they don't tell you is when you're doing an interview, they should be looking at what you can do to add value versus seeing what you said. So I look at someone's skill set. Okay, do they have critical thinking skills? Okay, how do they hustle? Do they actually go and engage this person? Okay, do they follow up? It's a lot of skills that are going to actually make you a professional that we don't talk about enough. Selling is very easy. You know what selling is? Selling is having conversations and understanding what the problem is and the pain for someone. You know what solution is? How do you build that out? How's that pain get built? You know what delivery is? Okay, now that we know the pain, can we actually deliver this solution with the technology that we're trying to use? Oh, wait, there's a working as designed error that doesn't work that way because I've implemented this 3 times and realized that's a gap. How do I explain to the customer that that's going to be a problem? There are so many opportunities and so many roles. But if you can have a diverse skill set, those roles are all open to you. And that's what's happened in my career. I've led stuff for product. I've led stuff for legal. I've led stuff for all these different teams because my skill set allows me to be fluid and all stakeholders can trust me because I understand what I'm talking about. That's the power.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shegun. And having a diverse skill set gives you more opportunities. So, Jennifer, I'm going back to you. I have, I think, 2 more questions for you. Right. So at the beginning of this webinar, I mentioned that we have different kinds of people on this call. Yeah, we have people that are at the twilight of their career. We have mid-career people, but we have early professionals, right? People that are just at the beginning of their careers. And I know based on your experience, you mentioned earlier how you started, right? You came across like a lot of challenges. Okay. My question is this: what strategies will you recommend? This is for early professionals, for people just starting out, right? In 2026, maybe we just have people who just came out of the university, right? What strategies will you recommend to overcome early hurdles and position themselves for better opportunities?